So in this example, we want to find a sub 1 for the geometric series. Given this information that we have the sum as 688, we have the last term in the series, which is 16, which tells us that, and then we also know that R, or our common ratio, is negative 1/2. Okay, so we just want to look for the formula that we need to use. There's one of two formulas when dealing with the sum that we talked about. And this one has all those components. We want to solve for a sub 1. We have been given a sub n, which is 16. We're given r, which is negative 1/2, r, which is negative 1/2, and s sub n. So that would just leave us with the one variable. So just plug and chug math here, just as long as we're plugging into the right places. So we have first step, choose the correct formula. The next step is to plug in the correct spots. 688 is s sub n. A sub 1 is what we are solving for, minus a sub n is going to be 16, our last term. R is negative 1/2. And then that is all divided by 1 minus negative 1/2. It's important to use the parentheses so that you don't drop your negative. So now we're just going to go through and use our order of operations and simplify both sides and then use inverse operations. So we have 688 on the left is equal to a sub 1 minus 16 times negative 1/2, negative 16 and negative 1/2. Negative and a negative is a positive, so this is going to be plus 8. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And then on the bottom we have 1 minus negative 1/2, which is plus 1/2. 1 plus 1/2 would give us 1.5 or 3/2. Okay, so then we still want to get at this a sub 1. We want to get at this, so we first need to remove this, then we need to remove this. So here, relative to a sub 1, we're dividing by 3/2. So the inverse of that is to multiply by 3/2. So if we multiply both sides by 3/2, or 3/2 over 1, we can then cancel those out, and when I multiply this side by 3/2, it's the same thing as saying 3 times 688 all divided by 2. Do that on the calculator real quick. Divided by 2 is going to be 1032 is equal to a sub 1 plus 8, and then finally we'll subtract 8 from both sides, giving me 1032 minus 8 would be minus 2 minus 6 more is 1024 is equal to a sub 1.